Good evening. How are we doing? It's a Saturday night and all you saddos are sitting here looking at me. Right, then I'm sitting here also. I know. The most important thing to know is that the wall is back on tonight. The wall. If you don't know what that is, you've got to go and look it up. It's the best quiz show that's ever been invented ever. It's on again tonight, so maybe we'll have to close down early to go and watch it. But anyway, welcome. Please let me know, somebody in the chat, that you can hear my voice and you can hear the music and there's some kind of balance between the two. That would be good. And then we'll crack on, yeah? Good evening, Pete in Minnesota. Good to have you with us. I think the wall's going to be lost on you somehow. Dry lunch from Bournemouth. Synth is a little loud. Music's a bit loud. Okay. I'm going to fade that away, in fact, because yeah, it seemed to work well last night in some places, but not to start with. It's a bit distracting. So let's kick off with this. We can hear my voice okay, yeah? Sounds good? Soggy Scotland, Barney. Oh. Well, it's kind of soggy all over, really. It's been soggy here for a week, if not more. Since them storms we had last weekend. Thanks, Frank. Yeah, I mean, I knew you'd appreciate it. And it's special. It's always a special exchange, I think. So anyway, I'll stop burbling and just say hello, welcome, good evening. This is Molten Modular DIY. This is the end of a quite intense week of Eurorack DIY and DIY in general, I suppose, in an electronic sense. And we find ourselves looking at the Deckard's Dream. What's the Deckard's Dream? Maybe you don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'll give you the whole story, all right, in a minute. But that's what we're going to look at this evening. We're going to have a potter around. I'm not by any means suggesting that I'm going to finish or complete a Deckard's Dream build. It's just to have a look at where we are, where I am, and maybe do some soldering. I mean, definitely do some soldering. I think that would be good. So yeah, settle back and let me tell you my little story about the Deckard's Dream. No, Apollo Kipso. that was ancient. That was when I was trendy. I mean, that was the 80s, man. And I was well into the pop scene at that particular time. I'd only really just started getting into guitar. I started getting into slightly, vaguely edgier stuff. But I hadn't hit indie music at that point. So I was all about, shirts, chinos, big badges on things, stuff like that. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. That's very digressing a great deal. So back to what on earth I was talking about. The Deckard's Dream. It's a proper synthesizer, a proper polyphonic 8-voice synthesizer based or inspired by the Yamaha CS80. So we're talking about a real Heckers-like analog polyphonic synthesizer. That is what it is that I'm building. And this is the front panel. It's a rack unit. This is going to go on the front of a box where everything else is stuffed inside. Now this will make more sense, I imagine, when I show you the other bits and pieces. But that is essentially what we're aiming for, is this synthesizer. It's quite a build. Quite a build, I can tell you. I mean, on my BOM here, I think at the end it tells me how many components altogether, or maybe not. Maybe not. It does on another page, I'm sure. But there's like thousands and thousands. No, I don't have it written on there. Of components that came in many, many boxes like this. Boxes full of stuff. You ready? Boxes full of stuff. I got boxes of the stuff like that. And it came with that. So the story is, right, the Deckard's Dream is this fantastic replica or reimagining of the CS80 done by a company called Black Corporation. And they decided to put this thing out as a kit. It was designed by a guy called Roman, who runs Sputnik Modular at one time, and he is sort of the genius behind investigating deeply into what the CS80 did and then attempting to replicate that in a manageable form, and that's what became Deckard's Dream. Deckard's Dream, of course, comes from Blade Runner, because the CS80 was used predominantly through the Vangelis soundtrack to Blade Runner, and that's where that reference comes from. And of course, that film is one of my all-time favourites. I was totally addicted to that film, to the soundtrack, to everything about that at that time was just extraordinary. So I have a lot of love and affinity for the CS80, for that sound, that soundtrack, and then of course the Deckard's Dream. Just thought it was a beautiful, beautiful thing. So I'd talk about it a lot, although I would never ever assume that I would get to have one in my hands. But Bob over at Black Corporation, Bob Rogue, he's a savvy guy, and he was looking for people who might be interested in building one in order to raise the profile a bit. And he saw that I'd been starting off with some DIY, been doing it for a bit, and he just seemed to like my approach. And so he got in touch and said, well, I'd like to build a Deckard's Dream. And I said, absolutely. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? I said, yeah, that would be very nice. Thank you very much. And so he said, all right, well, I'll send you the kit. It's like magic, I said, magic. So they're over in Japan. Took a little bit of time to get here, but eventually this lovely box arrived. I'm going to put that where I'm not going to bend it or scratch it. This here box arrived, and I thought, oh my God, I'm going to build like a $3,000 synthesizer. How exciting is that? Yeah. So it turned up, and I looked inside. I'll show you the contents in a minute. But what was inside was PCBs. PCBs. A whole stack of PCBs. The motherboard, hardware board, all these voice cards I've got here. And it's like, wow. I mean, it was fantastic. They're all black as well. All this sort of colour. Amazing, black and gold. It's just like, this is just the best thing ever. And then it dawned on me at that moment that he didn't mean the whole kit. He meant the PCBs. So I agreed to do it, kind of thinking he was going to send me a kit. So the PCBs, the front panel, and all of the components. No. They were just supplying the PCBs. That's what Black Corporation did. They supplied the PCBs and the bill of materials, and off we went and sourced the rest of the parts. So I found myself in a situation where I'm going, right, so what do I do? Do I send it back and say, nah, it's not quite what I thought? Or do I get stuck in and attempt to gather and source the components to build this thing? And how much is that going to cost? Well, an arm and a leg is the answer to that question. But I decided to give it a go, to crack on with it. I thought this is such a wonderful opportunity. And to be given the PCBs means I saved, maybe a third of the price of the synth, which, and the rest of it is just going to be investment in my time, I guess, my time and energy in actually building the thing. So that's what I decided to do. I then spent a long time with this bill of materials, pages and pages of stuff, trying to source it, trying to work it out. Where can I get these bits from? There were Mouser builds, there were things on Farnell, RSS, every sort of component site you can think of. I was trying to track down all the bits, and it was hard because I was kind of going from building the odd Eurorack kit, which as you know, a Eurorack kit comes with all the bits that you need, ready to go. I was going from that into trying to source individual components that I didn't know what they looked like or what they were supposed to do. I just had like a part number, and when that part number didn't come up exactly, I had no idea how to substitute in something which had been similar or different. I just did not have that level of expertise. So I pored over this spreadsheet for weeks, trying to work it out, get my head around it, shifting, adjusting, moving things around. I was having it was a spreadsheet frenzy, and I could colour different bits that I'd sort of worked out, different links in here. It was getting quite fun as a spreadsheet adventure all by itself. But it gradually sort of dawned on me that the amount of doubt that was being injected into my sourcing was growing and growing. And at the end of the day, once I totaled up the cost of buying the individual components, I could buy the kit of the components from SynthCube in the States for about the same price. So in sourcing the parts individually wasn't going to save me really any money, because and this company SynthCube looks like this. They had already gone to all the trouble of sourcing all the parts, and they'd put together these Deckard Streams kits. So you buy the PCBs from Black Corporation, then SynthCube can provide you with a big box that has every component in ready to go. Almost. There was a couple of little bits and pieces you had to source elsewhere, but the vast majority of it would be in little bags, all labelled, all ready to go. And so I thought, well, that's the answer. That's absolutely the answer. And so I did that. So that took away all of the doubt I had about getting the right components and the right things. And I could just get a big box of stuff that I knew was going to be more or less right. And that's what I did. And that turned up that was last summer, I think. Last summer, all of that turned up, and I spent an evening with my wife and kids sorting it all out, going through the BOM, making sure everything was right, everything was there. There were a couple of things that were missing that we had to chase them up on, just little bits and pieces, and just got the whole thing together. And then I also had to source the box and the front panel, I think, separately from another place. So got hold of those. So now I have it all in its entirety, and I've been building it since then. On and off, yeah, little bits here, little bits there. And I'll show you where I've got to so far. So first off, I think, hang on. I started on the motherboard, which is this. I mean, look at the state of it. Isn't that amazing? Oh, thank you. Isn't that amazing? I mean, it's an extraordinary PCB. So yeah, I had to put all those bits in, every single resistor and capacitor and big blue stripy thing, chips and bits and pieces. Like that. So that's the motherboard. That's the first thing I did. Took a while. On the back is a whole load of surface mount. So I had to learn also how to solder in surface mount stuff pretty quickly, because there was a lot of it. And by my reckoning, I've done an awesome job. I have no idea whether it works or not. No idea, because I'm so far away from plugging it in. Will we ever get to see that? Yeah, we will. We will. I promise we will. We will get to see that. So there's that. Got to be careful because it's got a sticky out bit on the back. Doesn't bend it. And then there's the hardware board, the front panel board. Look at all that. That's just super. That's just amazing. See, I'm saying it is amazing. It's not I'm amazing. It's this. This whole thing is just such a thing. And then, with a little bit of luck, come on, play nice. And then that goes on like that. You see, yeah. So that's going to be the front. Got lots of little bees to put over the front of there. Got a little screen. I haven't quite worked that bit out yet. That bit was too hard, so I've left that for the minute. But otherwise, that looks just magnificent. And then the motherboard. So I've got like a big square box for it. This is going to sit here, I think, possibly, and all the voice cards. So you get a voice, like a synthesizer in each of these slots, you know, because it's 8-voice polyphonic, and I've got these voice cards that go into these slots that provide each of the synthesizers. Everything else is just control, I think. So that is the major bits that I've done so far. So the motherboard and the hardware board. I put these back without breaking it all. Yeah, I mean, look at all those chips on the back of there. Just amazing. That was a heck of a lot of soldering. So I'm, you know, I'm getting on with it. I'm fairly into it. Put that there so it doesn't bend. Beautiful. And a couple of other bits as well. There's this this thing. Not sure what that is. Some kind of power board, I think. Something to do with the power supply. So I've got that done. I need another bit of foam. There we go. And then there's that, which is the I/O part. You know, MIDI ins and outs, USB output, that kind of thing. So that goes in there somewhere. So that bit's done. So, you know, I'm getting on with it. I'm getting on with it. Is that going to work on there? No. Don't want it to bend. Down this end. Maybe that's not the best place for it. Maybe I'll put those two bits somewhere else. Yeah, I will in a minute. That sort of place where they're absolutely not just going to fall off for no reason. Right, and then were these, the voice cards themselves. As I say, these are like little synthesizers. This is the synthesizer bit. On here you stick the oscillator chips and all the VCAs and stuff. Everything goes on there. And you've got one for each voice. So you can build one, potentially, plug it in and get it as a mono synth. You can do that. Now, as far as building it, see, Inverted Popes are saying it's a bit beyond your abilities. You'll be surprised, because building it is just like any other kit, because you've got a PCB that's got, let me bring this camera in here. You've got a PCB which has got all the numbers on, all the resistor numbers, all the part numbers, and you've got a BOM which tells you what they are. So in that respect, it's like any other kit, you know. There we go. Any other kit. So you just populate it and you solder it. It's no more difficult than that. Now the difficult bit for me has been what happens once you have all these bits together, because there's also I've got a box of bits that's labeled miscellaneous, and how you actually fit everything together, and there's some strange wires and there's some other bits and pieces that go together and things. I don't quite grasp how it all comes together at the end. I can do all of the boards, it just takes time and thought, but after that I don't really know the last bit, how to bring it together. That's not very clear. I mean, instructions wise, I was doing very well because I was following these photos that someone had done of the board. They originally, I think, came from Black Corporation, of the Rev 1, because the one I'm actually doing is the Rev 2.1. See that on there? 2.1, which is slightly different. But the photographs were great enough just to keep me going, to give me a reference to have a look at, to see, all right, yeah, no, I'm doing it right. But the actual bringing it together, there's no real photos that exist of that, and that's a bit scary. I might have to do that with, I mean, maybe I can do a live stream of that with someone who's done it before. I mean, there's a few people over there on the Deckard Stream build group on Facebook who have built loads of these things, and maybe I could get in touch with one or two of those to see if they fancy doing that last bit with me. That might be interesting. Hadn't considered that. That could be cool. I don't know. So this is what I've got left. And there are, as I say, 8 of these to do. And they're double-sided. So on one side you've got mostly through-hole stuff. On the other side, got these little buggers. Yeah. And nothing to tell me what they are, I don't think. But my understanding is, I think I'm right if I can remember, because it's been a little while since I've sat down with this. I think these are all capacitors, so I think those are all the same. Don't think there's anything different. think these are all the 0.1 microfarad. No. Yes, surface mount 0805. Okay, you see this on here. Surface mount 0805s. All these. They are here. All of these. Surface mount 0805. Everything else is electrolytic capacitors, ceramic capacitors, but these are not surface mounts. So the only surface mount is this lot here, which are these. So I don't think I can go far wrong other than surface mounting components in the first place. They can also help with the troubleshooting. Yeah, too right. Too right. I mean, I'm absolutely assuming that once I've done it all, it will just work. I mean, there's firmwares and things to upload. Scary stuff, you know. It's a lot. ICs. But at the end of the day, as I say, it's just resistors, capacitors, IC holders. Nothing scary. Bit of surface mount. So I reckon what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get on with it. I'm just going to do all this surface mount and then see if I can do this. It's going to be interesting because in finding the parts is going to be the interesting bit. I mean, I've been quite good with my sheet. You know, I'm ticking things as I go. You know, did this, did that, you know, all those bits. And all I've got left is the voice board. Now the voice board takes all this stuff down here. And this lot here. That's it. That's all. And then I've got to do that 8 times. Now I did think about doing like each part on each board, like in a production line, but sod it. I'm just going to do one card at a time. I think. So while I just have a quick drink, any questions before I kind of give it a go? Any questions at all? This is the parts. Both boxes are full. Now I do have bits left over, right, from all the other bits. Like this is my miscellaneous box, and I seem to have an awful lot of stuff in here, an awful lot of stuff. So that's slightly worrisome, because I'm running out. Oh look, there's a screen, but I'm running out of bits to build, and I still have this box of all sorts in there. This one as well, but this is mostly empty bags. I think this is from the main PCB. Yeah, that's all the empty bags. So that one's pretty much done. It's the weirdo miscellaneous that's going to really trip me up. So in here, I've got to find. They could do with a little wipe. Yeah, that's not likely to happen. Sorry. Yeah, I know. Probably. Okay. So I am looking for. I'm going to do a surface mount first. So I'm looking for 0.1 microfarad in this box. Can you spot them? You have a look. So you have a look through that box, right? You have a rifle through there. I'll have a look through this one. So I'm looking for the surface mount. So that will be a reel of things. It's not scary at all, this ridiculous amount of stuff. This all looks like resistors to me, other than the obvious capacitors. Those ones, capacitors. Yeah, so I think it's in your box. Have you found them yet? Oh, it's such a jolly japer. Right, so not in that one, I don't think. So it must be in here. Quad VCAs. Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. That's what we want. 0.1 microfarad SMDs 392. Yeah. Yeah. Alright. Gee whiz. Any beer? No, I'm not likely to be drinking beer for this one, fella, because it can all just go horribly wrong. So I'm going to need something to put these in. Now, little knurly tub I found to be useful for this. So, I've also not got my fan on, because if I have my fan on, it's just going to blow everything away. Is the light not very good over here? You not see that very well? Just noticing the screen's quite dark. Hang on. Is that a bit better? So, now these are tiny, really, really small, very easy to lose. I'm going to start off with one row. Those little buggers. How many of these have I got? I've got 4 lines. How many do I actually need? 49. Okay. 49 per board. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 40, 41, 42, 43, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49. So don't breathe, right? How did I do this before? I could count out 49, couldn't I? And then cut it maybe. That might be clever. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 49 is there. Our experience with these so far is that they tend to give you a couple more than you need. I seem to end up with a few left over, which is no bad thing, because when they go twang, and they will go twang and disappear off your desk onto the floor, that will happen. It's useful to have 1 or 2 extras. Alright, just got to get into it. Just got to not be afraid. Don't be afraid. Just gotta get in to it. Right, once they start coming, they start coming. Oh, one got away. You with all your curries. God, blimey. Had to take the kids to Norwich to get a coat for Alfie, which meant apparently it's the rules. One has to go via McDonald's on the way home. So yeah, I had a Big Mac. That was all I had. So I'm not particularly feeling like I scored on the old food front. But I did pick up some cream. So I'll be good later after this, I reckon. But yeah, you just go ahead and enjoy your food. Right, so you see there's one got away. There. I'm just going to pick that up, put that in before I lose it. Now, pair of tweezers, very important for this. Got these from Thonk. Oh, so while I remember, right, I just wanted to update you on what happened yesterday with the Robo build. Do you remember the Robo build if you were here? The 3PT, which is gorgeous. I love it. Absolutely love it. Anyway, we had a little bit of an issue with the manual not matching the stuff that was in the kit. So you had all these pictures of what I know now to be carbon film resistors, when actually in the kit it was all metal film resistors. Excuse me. And you know, I made a bit of a fuss about that, the fact that it was different and unhelpful and you had to try to discover what the resistors were yourself. Now, a guy from Robo got in touch just to say, well, we're really sorry about that. And then, you know, well, that's awful, obviously. And where he thinks the problem is because I bought it from Thonk. It was Thonk that actually put the kit together. So in this occasion, he says the communication between him and Thonk obviously wasn't exactly right. So they didn't get across the fact that it needed to be a particular sort of resistor in order to match the manual. So essentially, Thonk put the kit together from a list of stuff it was supposed to do, and it was all correct because it's the right thing. It just wasn't exactly the same as what was in the manual because they weren't aware of that. And so that is where that problem has arisen. So if you bought your kit directly from Robo, that wouldn't be a problem. So there you go. That's how that arose, and I guess that's one of the downsides of Thonk doing the kits on people's behalf. There's always that possibility of things not being communicated exactly as they should. But at the same time, it enables people to do it and is an awesome service that Thonk provide. So essentially what I'm saying is, it's just one of those things, wasn't it? And it wasn't really anybody's fault. It just kind of happened. And hopefully the fact that I highlighted that in the build yesterday means that it's not the sort of thing that will happen again. Great. So, you know, a good achievement there. Right, so in there, see all that? These are capacitors. This is the wondrous thing about surface mount, that's a capacitor, right? A capacitor. I mean, you know, this is a capacitor, that's a capacitor, this is a capacitor. How can that be? They are just from completely different worlds. So all that happens now is that I've got to make sure there's none missing that didn't make it. Nothing stuck in here. No, good. What I've got to do now is put them on. So how do I do that? How on earth does one do that? Well, let me show you. Now, I'm sure there'll be lots of people in the chat saying about how you can use hot guns, heat guns, solder paste, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, no, that's cool. You do that thing. But what I've found is a pair of tweezers, a flux pen, which I forgot to use on the one I did last Sunday when I did a little bit of surface mount. So it's obviously therefore not essential, but in this regard, it's quite useful, and I'll show you why it becomes useful. Not only in its function, just because visually it's helpful. So, you know, pair of tweezers, some flux pen, and solder. That's it. That's it. That's really it. Just trying to remember, how do I do this again? Okay. So I just have to be brave. That's the key, is to be brave. So I get my flux pen, like so. All this is it's like a felt tip that's just got flux inside, and I just paint on the ones I'm going to do. And what this does is just cleans it a little bit, means that the solder is going to run better. So I'm going to do them all in one direction, All these ones here. Maybe I'll do a small batch just to get me started. That might not be a bad idea. I'll do this lot here. Yeah. Got me soldering iron. Oh, I might need a little bit of water on my sponge. Not on my PCBs, obviously. And I will certainly need my magnifiers. Yeah, thanks Barney, you're on it. So I'm going to zoom this in a little bit to give you a better view. Put that about there. So the great thing about the flux pen is that it kind of marks what it is you're going to do. So that's good. So my starting point, I might change this completely in a minute, but my starting point just now, oh, what am I doing? Come on, keep it together. Let me get these other voice cards out of my way. They're distracting. Just put them over here for the minute. That's it. So I can bring this in a bit more. Don't need the pegs. Might need a bit of that. Over there. Get yourself comfy. Blah de blah. There's the thing. Okay. What I'm going to do first is put a little blob of solder onto the right hand pad. Might be the left hand pad depending on which way you're looking at this, but the soldering iron side pad, right? So don't really need the glasses for this, but I'm going to do it anyway. So what I do, hopefully you can, I'm not in the way of myself. So I'm just checking the delay on the screen to see whether I get in the way. No, I don't seem to. I shadow it a bit. Okay, well, whatever. So I put heat on a pad, stick on a blob of solder. There we go, that was easy. I'm not going to put the fan on for this one because I don't want to blow the bloody surface mount bits away. So did you see that? See how easy that was? Now this is the fun bit. Right, so I've got a blob of solder onto one side. Now what I want to do is present one of the surface mount components to the solder. Oh, dropped it. Darn it. Got to be careful. You want pressure on it, but not too much. Come on, come here. All right. So the plan is I'm going to heat up that piece of solder and I'm going to push the bit into it. Why don't I just use solder paste and a hot air gun? Don't know. I don't have any solder paste or a hot air gun, so I know nothing about what you speak. So in doing this, I looked into how do I do this by hand, a simple way, and this is how I do it by hand, the simple way. Oh, knee moving it about. And I like it. I might well get into heat guns and stuff at some other point. Now my tweezers aren't quite right, but it's alright. So I just heat up the same side. And put it in. There you go. There you are, fella. That's simple. I just need to sort out the ends of my... I did something stupid with these tweezers, I think, recently, trying to get hold of something, and I've just misshapen them. I need them to be flat at the end. Please be flat at the end. Maybe I've had it with this. Maybe not. I don't know. Persevere. So let's grab hold of another one. There we go. Put that down here. Got it. Melt the solder. That one's risen up a little bit. I'm just going to heat it up and push it down. Now I'll get better at this as I go, because I haven't done it for a while. Grab another one. Don't get away. See, it's just the tweezers are making it rise up. I don't want it to happen. So how can I improve on that? What is it that I did? What did I do? Never mind, I'll keep fiddling with it. Pick up another one. Oh, come on. Shaky hands. Shaky, shaky. It just throws itself on there. It's quite remarkable. Quite remarkable. Where's a spot? There's a spot. See? Once I get my head into it, it can be really quick. I mean, the whole heat gun thing, I'm sure that's completely fair enough and all those sorts of things. It just feels like, I mean, why bother? Why bother with the build? If you're just going to lay a bunch of stuff out and it's going to go, going to do it itself, why not just get them ready mounted? You know. Whereas this feels like I'm building it, aren't I? So yeah, I like it like this. I like it like this. I've been building it for over a year. Not like every day. I've done, I mean, you can go back through the videos I did. You know, I'd spend a day or something on a bit of it, or a couple of days on a bit of it, then come back to it at some other point. So, but I was speaking to Gertz, America Synths. It took him a year to build his, and that was really encouraging, because I kind of felt I was really lagging. But it's just, you've got to put aside some time to actually get into the right frame of mind to do it, as well as finding all the right parts and getting all that together, getting in the right frame of mind. I mean, if you could do it in, say, if you could do it in like 3 weeks, a solid 3 weeks on it, I reckon you could build it without any problem. Without any problem at all. So I'm not soldering the other side of the capacitors yet. I'm going to do all of the ones down one way around. Then I'll turn the board and I'll do the other side, or I'll do the sideways ones, you know, whatever. Whatever. The least amount of disruption, I think, is good. Now I could do with putting a little bit more solder on, I think. So I will. Okay, that's another bunch. See that all right from where you are? Like that, maybe? Nobody sneeze. Oh, got away. Got away. There we go. So how is it that these don't all just get bridged, I suppose is the next question. Yeah, I have no idea. I find it completely remarkable that it just works. The solder sort of behaves itself. It stays where it's meant to, flows where it's meant to, and it gives you no bother. Oh, that's a bit wonky. Oh, come on, come on. Yep. Good, 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 good. Coated with solder resist. Yeah, I expect so. I prefer magic myself. I like the idea that it's just magic. But solder resist, yeah, sure. Is that all the sideways ones? Well, I see I'm rocking through this. Rocking through it. Nope, solder first. Cool. Sorry, you got a bit of shirt there. Do apologise. The hardest bit of all this, picking the bloody things up. Ooh. Come on, come on. Don't be silly. Got one there. Right. So now turn it round. I'll start doing the ones in the other orientation. Yeah? Ooh, got a bit more flowy stuff flowing now. Okay. That's enough for starters. No. Oh, forgot to put solder on that bit. I mean, I found with all of this, I mean, because I had to learn this from scratch, you know, nobody showed me how to do it. And so what I did is I got hold of the music thing Pulses, which is an expansion for the Turing machine, because that has some surface mount. And it's just a little project, you know, it doesn't cost very much. It's a good little expansion for the Turing machine, which gives it some more. It's a little bit, ooh, got a little bit too much on there. So I'm going to bend it away. Do not want to use a solder sucker. Do not. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I made that. That was kind of my first attempt at surface mount, and it was through doing that and watching a lot of YouTube videos. One particular one, which I can't remember the name of the guy now, but he was building a Dream, and he did a video on the voice cards, this bit here, and was using this method. And it was that video that really sort of sealed it for me, because, you know, I was thinking about bloody hot guns, and, you know, people were talking about ovens and all sorts, and I'm thinking, oh, that just seems like too much. I don't want to have to buy a whole load of extra gear, whereas all I needed was a pair of tweezers. I thought, right, I'm into that. So I'm not planning on starting up a factory, you know. I just want to do these little projects like this one. Yeah, little project. But it's like if you've got a Eurorack kit with just a little bit of surface mount, you don't want to have to be fannying around with ovens or heat guns or, you know, crazy stuff. You just want to be able to pop them in. Just like this. Just pop them in. That's all you want. That's what you want. What size solder? 0.7. 0.7 millimeter. Which is about, is it, what? 3 yards in American speak. That was a cup. Oh, am I going to do the rest of these? Sod it, yeah. Just paint the rest of them on. Get it done. And then I'll try to work out why I've got like half a dozen left. Well, I suppose there could be some on the other side. I hadn't really thought about that at this stage. Finding I have to clean the end of my soldering iron a lot, but that's mainly because I get most of my solder on the end of the iron. I mean, this is not a particularly pointy or narrow soldering iron. It's just the regular tip, you know. You can get much thinner tips. People also use the kind of the chisel tip end, which works in other ways. I'm just using kind of what's here. This is what I have. Probably far too much solder. Oh, come on. One left. Is that the lot? They've all got little tails. Well, provided it's not sticking onto anything else, then there's no worry with that, is there? Are you worried? I'm not worried. Anybody else worried? Hey Todd. 550? No, 501. I've done 49. 49 times 8, is that 550? I don't know. Oh yeah, but except I haven't actually soldered half of it yet. Right, I've just got to do... Right, I've got to do the other side. So my plan is for this, I seem to have turned it round. I think perhaps I need a bit of an angle on it. Maybe that's the best approach. I'm going to go with an angle. So for this bit, I'm just applying solder to the other side of the other pad. So I want to heat up the pad as best I can and present some solder to it. Oh, see, that's not working. Oh, there we go. Heat up the pad. I can just about get the end of my soldering iron on there. Just about. He says, not been able to get the end of his soldering iron on there. I guess at this point is where a chiseled one might be better. Possibly. Come on. So if I was to start again with a new board at this point, I would do my best just to give a little bit more room on the pad I hadn't soldered, just to get the end of my soldering iron on it. I don't know, seems to be going on all right. See that all right where you are? So that's all those. get to that one? Oh, I don't know. It did it. There you go. All done. Now, I know if I was a real engineer and all that kind of jazz, I'd then get some flux remover or some kind of alcoholic thing, I don't know, toothbrush, and I'd clean that all off. But seeing as I'm not, I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with that. I hope that's okay. Don't cringe too much. So, this stuff then. Right, if I get my list out, I need to find a pen. Do you have a pen in any of my bins of sin? Oh, look, here's one. So, 49 surface mount, done. So I'm going to move down my list here. I'm going to pick on some resistors down here, I think. Start with those. I think that's my best bet. It's just to start with a type. So I'm going to start with these ones here. Pretty sure that everything else is going to be taller. So I'm just going to start on resistors. Go down here. Then all the way down this lot. There's a lot of them. And just get them done in groups. I think get them done in groups is the plan. So four M7s, that's what I'm after. I'll come back a little bit again. 4 M7s. So I want the resistor box. Which was the resistor box? This is definitely diodes and capacitors. That one. Oh, the other thing I should say is I'm not, you know, whether I finish this or not is neither here nor there. I was hoping not to do more than 2 hours, if that's all right. Just to get to bed at a reasonable time, because I am knackered. So, I'm going to have to go through all of these. Damn it. So what line am I on? No, that doesn't really matter, does it? Because, I mean, SynthCube, they label all these up brilliantly. Yeah, you know, you've got it. You've got the name of the project that it's for. You can see, like, July 2019 is when this all got bagged up for me. It gives you what it is, its thing, but also what line of the bomb that it's on. Now, unfortunately, I think the one that I printed out has been a little bit adjusted by me, so the lines probably don't work. But they may do. I can't entirely remember. But, you know, all this bagging up and stuff is just totally brilliant. So I'm looking for, definitely not those. Looking for, there's not going to be a whole lot of them. How many are there? 8. So there will be 64 in a bag. And I'm looking for 4M7. Not those. 64 in a bag. 470. 64 kilo ohm. 4.7 mega ohm. That's got to be them, isn't it? 4.7 mega ohm. Line 57. Or 70s. Look at that. Look, all I did was I just reorganised it a little bit more, and it's now only half a box rather than a complete box. That's awesome. So this is, I think, what I'm after. $4.7 is 4.7 mega ohms. Yeah. Yeah, everybody? Help me out here. Yeah, thanks, Todd. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. It can't be anything else. Right, so I need R44. Now are these together? No, they're not. Now I could measure it, couldn't I? That's the proper thing to do. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you, Mark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, if I was feeling really clever, I would put these in some kind of order so that I don't have to look for it next time. R44. Now, these have not been too bad in the layout. It does shoot around a bit from time to time, but on the whole, lower numbers to higher numbers on the whole. He says that. Look, there's all these hundreds over here. I don't know. And of course I shouldn't get my fingers on anything. You just have to get on with it, you know. Just have to get on with it. Oh, 44. Was it 44? Yep. She's in. I'm putting gold to the top. Take a moment to write the value resistor in large writing with a Sharpie on the bag. No, it's alright. It's there. It's alright. But if you're saying if I write on it, then I'll know that I've used it. But I'm going to be using everything, so that won't make any difference. But I suppose that makes some kind of sense. 4M7, maybe it makes some sense. I don't know. So does that make you feel better? I don't know. See, the thing is, if I incorporate everybody's way of organising things, it will be extremely inefficient. So to have competing systems. 59. $58, $57, $50, $49, $59, Wrong way around. $60. $61. You bugger. Come on. Yeah, no, I'll take everything back I said about them being relatively near to each other. I'm going to go further afield now. 63, 66. Dagnabbit. What number am I looking for? 60. Might have to put my specs back on. 61, 53, 48, 43, 77, 42. Come on, you're here somewhere. 57, 50, 47, 48, 49, 90, 64, 62. Damn it. 68, 66, 63. Tantalizing. 60. That's it. That's it. Right there, staring at me. No numeric relevance. No, I've looked at this before. On the motherboard and stuff, I mean, they are grouped to a degree, but of course the numbering of the resistors goes via the schematic, not the PCB. So if you follow the schematic, then it's all correct. It's all in the right order. But when that's translated to here, that actually is not the case. 138. So it's just a cat and mouse game. One which I'm evidently no good at. 35, 135. $58, $48. Come on, I'm not being methodical enough. $137. 138 there. Why not do all 8 PCBs simultaneously? Yeah, I could. I don't have the bench space for it, really. You only have to search once. Yeah, that makes complete sense. I think it would be really uninteresting as far as a live stream goes to have all 8 lined up and, you know, do a few things on each board. I figured I'm just going to have a go at one board, try it out that way. The other thing about doing all the boards at once, I'd have to have it all out, and then have to put it all away again, and, you know. So yeah, that's absolutely one way to do it. But I'm doing it this way. What can I tell you? What can I tell you? 139, which is right next door. Yeah, there is also the possibility of testing one voice card before doing the rest. However, the thing with that is that you're going to have to assemble the synth. And I don't know how to do that. So that to me feels like the very last thing I want to do. When everything else is done, it will force me into a position where I have no other option but to put the thing together. So it does make sense to do one card and then test that. But I don't know. I kind of like to finish it. Because putting it together and making it work is... It's something I can't quite comprehend. Whereas doing this, I understand this. So this bit is all right. And provided that I'm still soldering, I'm not actually having to go through the horror of not having it work, if you see what I mean. Because I don't want to go through the horror of not having it work, having to spend the rest of my life troubleshooting the thing and not have finished it. Do you know what I mean? Because inevitably, if I can't get one voice to work, I'm going to spend the rest of my time trying to work out why. And I'll never finish the other cards. And that's a shame. So I don't want to put myself in that position. So I'd rather finish the whole lot and then test it. That's my thinking anyway. I mean, that could change, but that's my thinking. 153. There. See that? Some of them just turn up. One five four. Here's all a piece of piss now. Now I think what I'll do, I'll just put my fan on. I might put some more in first. I might finish this little page. What's happening over there? Yeah, that's as good a thing as any. So I'll keep on chunking. So 1 meg 5 now. 2 of those. So there should be 16 in total. So it's a little pack of 16 for 1 meg 5. 1.5 mega ohm. One meg 5, 2 of 16. Yeah. Ooh! Alrighty, alright. Got a little bit carried away with all that. Get in there. That's 1 meg 5. So if I put that there, then it's all going to be in order for next time, but backwards order. I know what I mean. So 1 meg 5. So I've done that. Or tick there. Can't remember where I put the ticks. R5. There's a system. I did sort of have some kind of system going at one point. Don't know what happened to that. R5. R99. '94. '99 up here. That's good. 1 meg 2, of which there's 32. One meg 2. 32. 1 meg 2. Need 4 of these. Hey Frank, you can't diss Commander Adama's origami skills, man. That's not cool. That's not cool. Not cool at all. Four of those. $52. Oh, come on. $53. $51. What am I after? 52. That's 52. $66. There. One, 4, 6. One, 4, 4. 1, 4, 6. 60. One meg, 8 of 64. 1 meg. Okay. One meg. One mega ohm. Todd, I've got all the images of the boards. How does it make it easier? You can use the OCR to make it easier to find stuff. Don't quite understand that. You're saying on an image in a PDF you can search for text? It's interesting. Did I know that? I don't know that I did. But it has to be in a PDF, I guess. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Although, I mean, the time it takes to type something in it's not that much of a bind. Now, what am I doing? Losing track of myself. Focus, R31. R32. R31. These are a nice colour. It's going to end up quite pretty, I think. Oh, okay. Well, if somebody can find the PDFs, and maybe they can call out where the next bit goes. That would be nice. 39. Because I always like to find the longest way possible to do anything. $78. Is that what I'm after? 78. $92. $125. $33. Okay, I'm convinced it's up here somewhere. 131, 132. $135, 130. Come on. $137. $132. Oh no, this one's got me. $32. There, 133. Gutty, you bastard. It's funny, isn't it? You look at something a dozen times and you can't see it. Sorry, you're all being sort of chilled out there, and there's me you know, swearing and shouting and stuff. 172. Sorry, I'm sorry. 72. Again, you bastard. 172. There it is. Do I not entertain? 186. It's like the shipping forecast. 66. 186. 186. Okay, just 2 more to do before I do some soldering. It's a bag of 16, 442. Interesting. 16, 442. There it is. 442K. Is it 442K? Yes, 442K. $73. $73, did I say? Yeah. $167. Cool, right, let's do some soldering. Ta-da! What happened to my goggles? What I need is a wireless gas-powered soldering iron. That would be awesome. Sorry, I suddenly had a panic. Oh, what am I doing? This is the side of the surface mount. No, of course it is. Can I put the thing back up? So this is the same sort of things we had yesterday, but I've thrown in a little bit of modulation from the 3PT. And a little bit of magneto too. Which I am slowly unravelling. slowly. Not on purpose. I just kind of have a go. I still don't really understand the whole business with heads and feedbacks and stuff. But I'm seemingly getting more out of it as time progresses. See, solder just spat at me. Felt it on my thumb. Safety specs, man. God, that's beautiful. Why did I put that note in there? No, I didn't get an ornament and crime. It's not happening. See, the 3PT is a multifunctional device. That I get. No menu, just something beautiful and useful. The O&C. Oh, there's one. I understand the usefulness. I just fail to see the beauty in it. Looking good. Alright, so people tell me off for firing these everywhere. I'll try to take a bit more care. Oh, there's a couple I haven't done. Oh, there's one I might need to do again. Couple more I haven't done. Benny boy. I appreciate that. I appreciate that a great deal. I will give it some thought, alright? I'm not promising you nothing. I'll give it some thought. For the rack that has everything. Or for the rack that has nothing. Maybe. Don't know. God, look, it's like we haven't got anywhere. It's 5 to 10. We haven't got anywhere. Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? I think we should probably leave it there. I mean, I know it would be lovely to do a couple more hours, but I've done enough, I think, this week. I've done enough. And I think that gives you an idea of the enormity of the task. So that's 2 hours, and lots of chat obviously, so let's call it an hour if I was just doing it by myself. Just going to turn that off a second. So in, say, an hour, I've done all the surface mount on one card and a small percentage of the resistors. Yeah? So I've got a long way to go. Is it beer o'clock? Yes, it is for me, mate. It most certainly is. So on my little list here, I've done all of this lot down there, and I've done that lot. So obviously I've got a whole chunk more of capacitors, a fair few capacitors, some diodes, bunch of ICs, la-di-da-di-da, including the good old oscillators going here. 2 of them per voice, I think. Now, my oscillators have been donated very kindly by Infinite Machinery. They are these ones here, I believe. Ooh. I could be wrong. No, 16, that's right. And these are the AS3340 version. So we're going to go with that. That's what we're going to have a go at. So thanks very much for that, Jim. I do appreciate that. And they will, your investment will pay off eventually. Your donation, rather. Whatever you want to call it. That was cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm very happy with how that's going. I don't think there's going to be any problem in getting it done at all. It's purely time. And then on this side of the board, I've just got a long list of resistors to go in. That's all. That's all. Just a bunch of resistors. Then I've got to do that another 7 times. Yeah. Nice. So, good. I've just got to make sure I don't lose anything. So all this goes back together again now. I mean, I'm super excited about the possibility of it working. I mean, that is pretty flipping awesome. I mean, yeah. I mean, everybody at the moment is talking about the Prophet 5, of course. Which, I mean, the Prophet 5 is for me an absolute dream of an instrument. It's what I always wanted, have always wanted, and now it's available again. It could possibly be purchased. It's like the ARP 2600, the Korg one coming out, and just go, you can actually buy it. Amazing. The fact that you can buy a Prophet 5 is extraordinary. But I must always keep reminding myself that in my hands, I've got, as good as damn it, a Yamaha CS80. I mean, that's amazing. It's amazing. And I could be playing it. Yeah. So I've got to focus, got to get through this. And see how it goes. It's a beautiful thing. I'm extremely fortunate to be in this position to make it. It's just amazing. I mean, I quite like the idea of tackling another large project afterwards at another point. Once I've done this, maybe I build the TTSH or something. I don't know. I mean, it's a nice idea. I don't know if there's any room for these boards in any of these boxes, rather than leaving them out. I know. I need to put them in something. So, yeah, there we go. I mean, obviously I've got the Cosmo project is the other thing. Oh yeah, I got hold of some more pots for that, so I am tooled up and ready to go. Sam did very kindly say he'd do another live stream on it. His availability is a bit sporadic, to say the least. I mean, I was just dead chuffed that he came on that stream. I thought that was brilliant of him, and I learnt a heck of a lot. But I could just get on with it now and finish it. I don't know, I just got a lot. I got a lot on. I've got to work out where to schedule these things in, because this week has been brilliant in order to give myself the opportunity to focus on stuff, and it's been almost a complete success. The only thing that's narked me slightly is I haven't been able to get the sample slicer to work, and that's a real shame. But maybe we'll have a look at that. I mean, maybe that's something for tomorrow night, right? It feels like we should get together or something. I don't know. We should get together and just talk about the week, how that went. Maybe that's worthwhile doing tomorrow evening, just to round it all off. That seems like a nice idea. Not for too long, maybe just for an hour. Maybe that would be a good thing to do. And then we can talk about it, and I can get, for instance, I'll get the sample slicer out. It's this fella here, this one here. And I can show you what the problem is, and maybe some bright spark will know what to do. I mean, I'm at the moment, I'm thinking I'm going to take the transistors out and put them back in again. Poor old Jan doesn't seem to... he's never seen this problem before and doesn't entirely sure how to tackle it. So I'm just going to have to... I don't know, either I put it to one side and say sod it, or I just have to start taking bits out and putting them back in. I guess that's all I can do. An hour plus beer, says Barney. Yeah, maybe that's an idea. So maybe I'll do it later. Maybe I'll do it at 9, just for an hour. Maybe I'll confirm tomorrow with one of those thumbnail YouTube link thingies. That's what I'll do. I can't believe I scratched that. Trying to get these bloody knobs off. Troubleshooting. It is always a possibility that it ain't gonna work. So yeah, that'll do then. So yeah, that's the Deckard stream as it is at the moment. Voice cards to do. So I reckon if in a couple of days, if I worked on it for 2 days straight, I reckon that one could finish those off, and then I'll be in that exciting position of trying to put it all together. Terrified, absolutely terrified, but that could be good. That could be good. Lots to do, lots more kits to build. Ooh, don't want to have those left out. I've also got lovely modules to review as well. Queen of Pentacles, Perkle, got over there, the Ratchet. Just off the top of my head, the Omsonic thing to do, the 3PT, you know, all exciting stuff to do videos on. Plus there's a whole bunch of kind of software-y type things that have also been backing up, because I do that kind of thing. I am Mr. Surface Pro Audio after all, and there's the Windows update to take care of, to look at that, the performance of all of that, and there's things I'd like to review, like ZenBeats 2 for instance, because that's all touchy and that's really good. There's some very interesting Ableton Live devices, machine type things that to do with modulars, very interesting. I'd like to look at that. Some more touchscreen interface MIDI controllers I'd like to look at. I've still got the Sensal Morph to have a look at properly. You know, lots and lots of things, far too much. I wish kind of I didn't have a day job so that I could spend all my time making interesting videos, because that's the most fun, I think. But you know, it is what it is. I have to do what I have to do, and I'll fit these things in as and when I can. But this week has been awesome, exhausting, but awesome. It was really the right thing to do. I feel like I've accomplished a huge amount this week. So exciting stuff. So I won't run on. I'll toddle off and I have myself some pudding and a beer and watch some terrible television with my good woman, and that'll be an awesome Saturday night for me. That'll do. That'll be good enough. So thanks very much for joining me. Any last minute dying questions? No, you're all talking amongst yourselves. Fine, that's all right. Research group, you built a sample slicer yesterday. It's confused why the clock wasn't working until I fed a clock signal. Yeah. The problem is it's not picking up the clock signal. That's the difficulty. So I put a clock in and it goes, what? It just pulses, and so the speed doesn't work. The speed divider doesn't work. 'Cause it's not understanding the clock. That's the difficulty. Everything else seems to work. It samples all right. You know, the pitch is up and down all right. I can trigger it from gates and stuff. But something wrong with the clock. There we go. Andrew, you're welcome. Have a good night, everybody. Cheers. Yeah, cool. Yeah, nice. Perk also good. It really is. What's the day job? Asked David. I write for a living. So I write for a website called Gear News. I write articles about music technology, synthesizers and stuff. So I write articles every day. Every day the news keeps coming through. Any new releases, I write those up and give an opinion on them for gearnews.com. I also write for Sound on Sound magazine. So I've got reviews at the moment that I'm working on and writing. I also write for a website called Careers in Music. Articles for them as well. They're sort of more like listicles, best of articles. So, you know, freelance writing is what actually pays the bills. This doesn't pay the bills in the slightest, but it's enormous fun. But if you'd like it to pay the bills more, then I do have a Patreon, and I'm nearly at 100 people. Nearly at 100, which would be amazing. That would be extraordinary. So do feel free to pop over to my Patreon thing. The link is in the description of this video, and throw us a couple of dollars every month. You know, treat it as a magazine subscription or something like that. That would be brilliant, and that's enormously helpful in helping me buy bits and pieces to do videos on, and in order to you know, feed myself, buy beer, that kind of thing. All of that's helpful, and it keeps the balance. It keeps me obligated to make videos, which is good. I need that kind of push to do stuff, and that's very enormously helpful. My little Patreon crew are brilliant. I love them very much. They're very, very helpful to me. And you don't get anything special particularly for being a patron, but you could do. That's always a possibility. It always hangs in the air as a possibility. It just never actually happens. So anyway, just think about it. It's up to you, really. So there we go. The stream is ending. Willie, yes, sorry, it is. But if you rewind it, you'll find it totally fascinating, okay? Totally fascinating. Cool, Frank, good. Enjoy the curry. Have a poppadom on me. I think that's good. Yeah, all done. Nice one. Thanks very much. In the meantime, you know, go and make some tunes like this. I'll give you 1 minute of this as I glide over there to press the end stream button. Oh, that's so lovely. Just going to change the mode just for fun. That's just, I'd love to say that I'm fantastic, but this is the combination of the qubit surface, the Omsonic stochastic melody generator thing. I must work out what the name of that is. Magneto and the frequency central stasis leak, plus a little bit of 3PT. See, what this needs is a nice big Deckard Stream pad underneath it.